This is Istanbul, once Constantinople, the jewel of the world, the heart of 3 continents. Today, the Hippodrome roars with the voices of thousands. A magnificent celebration shakes the city, drums, fanfares, torches shimmering like stars. High dignitaries arrive from every corner of the Ottoman Empire and from distant kingdoms. Gold, silk, horses adorned with jewels. This city has never seen anything like this. But beneath this mask of festivity lies an event not recorded for centuries. That evening, under the guise of the prince's circumcision ceremony, while the empire bows to the greatness of Suleiman, something happens that history had not written for ages. A secret wedding. A wedding that will change the course of history. In the gallery, beneath golden arches, sit 3 figures who shaped an empire. Suleiman, ruler of half the world. Ibrahim, the great shadow who breathes beside him. And she, a woman born in silence, destined to change the fate of thousands.
I, Ibrahim, son of a fisherman from Parga, a convert, now the Sultan's brother, commander of the army. The peak of power stands before me, and hell as well. How is it possible that one woman becomes a stronger enemy than 10 men? Your demon, Ibrahim. But she is like you, she came from nothing. You presented her to the Sultan. You yourself created your greatest rival. I didn't know that this gift would become the woman whose voice would echo through palace corridors louder than the strike of drums.
I am Hurrem, born as no one, taken as a slave, forced to be silent. And yet, today I stand in the gallery as the woman the Sultan chooses for his own. I did not seek a crown, but when destiny puts a blade to your throat, you learn to fight. What the world sees as a celebration is, for me, the beginning of a war where every smile is poison, every glance a threat, and every day a battle for survival. They say I broke a tradition centuries old, that I brought unrest, fire, love, and war. But no one knows what I survived, nor how many times I had to be reborn.
She, Alexandra Lisowska of Ukraine, taken as a slave, brought before the Sultan as a spoil of war. But fate had other plans. Her red hair like flame, her eyes blue as the cold sea, her will forged like steel. In an empire where women are born to be silent, she chose to speak. Her first battles were not with armies, but with the women of the harem. In the harem, words are swords, and silence is poison. Mahidevran, mother of Prince Mustafa, looked at her as a threat to her firstborn. Sultana Hafsa, mother of Suleiman, saw in Hurrem a wave that could drown traditions older than 1,000 years. Hatice, the Sultan's sister, tried to balance her love for Ibrahim and her fear of what was unfolding. And every move they made became a blow shaping Hurrem's destiny. Mahidevran, mother of Prince Mustafa, the first favorite, the first rival. At the Sultan's table, she even tried to poison her. Later, the Valid Sultan imprisoned Hurrem in the darkest chambers of the harem. Then exile and countless intrigues and attempts on her life.
They locked me away. They poisoned me where no one would dare suspect. They sent servants to lure me into ambushes under the pretense of seeing the princes. They killed my loyal maids, one by one. I was exiled, far from his gaze. His mother sent me to calm down, but truly she sent me where I was meant to disappear. But I did not disappear. I survived every blow, every poison, every lie. For I was not merely love. I was ambition. I was survival itself. This was no fairy tale. This was war.
Hurrem triumphed in an arena where no woman had triumphed before. Because of her, no other woman entered the Sultan's chambers, except her. The empire had only one love. She fought all wars at once, but the greatest war of her life was the war against Ibrahim Pasha. For decades they clashed, she from the shadows, he from the peak of power. But the final nail in his coffin was hammered by his own hand. At an official meeting with Venetian envoys, out of pride in his origins, he declared, "I am like a tamer of lions. I guide the Sultan's decisions. The empire is in my hands." The transcript of that conversation reached the Sultan through Hurrem's hands. And then the star fell. A man whose ambition and survival matched that of Hurrem Sultan. The Sultan's mother died. Hatice, the Sultan's sister, Ibrahim's love, his entry into the dynasty and protector, soon poisoned herself. Hurrem remained the only woman in the palace allowed to speak.
My greatest enemy was not Mahidevran, nor the Sultan's mother, nor Hatice. It was Mustafa, the prince beloved by the army, the hope of the empire, and the source of his mother's power. She used him as a shield and as a sword against me. Rustem understood what that shadow meant. That is why he became my ally. That is why I gave him to my daughter Mihrimah. That was the price of survival, the price of the future. And so, together, we built the path to a destiny no one could escape.
Rustem Pasha becomes Grand Vizier. Of course, the choice was made by whispers upon the Sultan's pillow. Together, they shifted the course of the empire. The army marched east toward Persia instead of west, and the fate of the empire changed forever. And finally, the greatest battle. Prince Mustafa, beloved, strong, heir, but also a threat to her children, a powerful rival, but to secure loyalty, Hurrem gave the hand of her daughter Mihrimah to the Grand Vizier Rustem. Through schemes, forged letters, and accusations of treason, and then the moment that divides an era. Mustafa, the darling of the Janissaries, enters his father's tent and leaves as a shadow. His death tears the empire apart, snuffs out hope. Suleiman executes him. The empire trembled, the people went mad. While Hurrem was visiting a seer, an enraged crowd surrounded the house. They shouted to stone her, to kill her. The Sultan heard. He rushed to save her. But before he arrived,
I walked out, alone.
She removed her hijab. Her long red hair shone under the torchlight. Her blue eyes, resolute and fearless. The crowd parted, like the sea before Moses. They opened a path for her. The Sultan arrived only once she was already seated in the carriage. He knew the power of his sultana, but even he was astonished.
I did not seek war, but the world I lived in offered no peace to women like me.
She was a slave who became a queen, a woman who loved and endured, a mother who loved fiercely, and a name history will never forget.
If they say I changed the world, let it be so, for my destiny was stronger than all chains. If my story taught the world anything, it is that one woman can change an empire, can change the rules, can change history. And as long as this city stands, as long as bells and ezans echo over the Bosphorus, my name will never fall silent. If anyone is wondering how, my answer is love. The love that binds me to the Sultan from the moment I saw him in the corridor of the palace as a slave. My master, my husband, the father of my children, and my soulmate. My intelligence and ambition could not achieve everything without the foundation of my power, which is the Sultan's love for me. We were each other's support, trusted friends, comfort, spouses, lovers.